Hello. So I've decided to do this video as this idea has been coming up in my head for so long and I just haven't done it. So I'm going to take my own advice and actually doing something with the ideas that I've had. So yeah, if you haven't watched my last two cards in the cars, I talk about having an idea, planning, like putting it aside and not doing anything with it. And I've been like sort of writing these notes down of ideas of videos and then just leaving the notes aside and not doing anything with them. Anyway, so pick them up. Got my notes. I'm going to be reading off some of them because I don't think I'll remember all of it and I want to make sure I've got everything. So for those who haven't heard of love languages, this is going to be new to you, obviously, and I hope it's going to be helpful. For those who've heard of it, I'm going to introduce a couple of extra things in it that you may not have thought of with love languages. Okay, so hopefully this is going to be beneficial to everyone watching, and whether you are aware of love languages or not. Okay, so first of all, what are love languages? So love languages came from a book that someone called Gary Chapman wrote, and it's about 5 types of love languages that people speak in relationships. It doesn't necessarily have to be love relationships. It is in all different relationships. So it's in your friendships, in your family relationships, but it's about the language that people speak, and they connect with people better when they receive a certain love language. Okay, so I'll just explain it. You've got 5. Okay, wrote them all down because I always forget one of them. No matter how many times I've talked about this or tried to write about it, I always forget one of them and I'm going, what is it again? So the first love language that people want to receive to feel more connection and more loved is words of affirmation. So that's been one of mine for a long time. Probably not as much now that I've done a lot more work on myself and built my confidence up a bit more and kind of give a lot of kind words to myself. However, when I ever do the test, because there's a little test and you can do this I've got on my Instagram, I have a link in my bio, and you can, if you scroll right down, there's a love language test. So if you want to know what yours is, you can go on there and they'll show you your main love language. So whenever I do the test, it's still words of affirmation. And I'm like, really? So yeah, the first one is words of affirmation. And I wanted to get this correct because it's not just about compliments. Okay, a lot of people think that words of affirmation is about compliments and receiving compliments, and it's not about that at all. I don't have to receive compliments anymore. It's nice to receive them, and of course I love receiving them. Everybody loves receiving compliments, but words of affirmation is still very much needed in my life because this is the explanation of words of affirmation. Written or spoken words that confirm, support, uplift, or empathize with another person in a positive manner. So whenever you're sharing something with somebody else, the way that you feel connection is if somebody else confirms what you've said, supports you with supportive words, uplifts you with some words. It could be compliments, it could be kind words, and empathizes with what you've said. So they've shown that they're really listening and they're really understanding you. And that's really, really important to me. And I can totally understand why that's still one of my top love languages. Okay. The second one is gifts. Now, this is another one. Gifts have always been quite important to me as well, but that everybody assumes, again, there's an assumption there that it's about materialistic things. Oh, I love to receive like expensive gifts. Or no, for me, gifts can be made. They can be like someone, walked past a shop and they saw a 5p, I don't know, little teddy that reminds them of me. Like, it could be that. It could be that they made a gift for me. For me, it's about the fact that they have thought about me and they've thought about what I like, and they've really listened to what I like, and then they've just thought, oh, I bought this because it made me think of you, and that just means the world to me. So it's more about them kind of really paying attention to you and listening to you, and knowing you. Okay, so that's why gifts is important to me. So they're my top two anyway. I thought I'd go in with mine and then I'll read the other ones. Everybody loves all of these, by the way, but you'll have like one or two main ones. Okay, the third one is touch. I don't really have to explain that. It's, affection. It's, you might like massages, you might like holding hands, you might like you might be sort of very tactile, and you might like somebody to be like that with you. Okay. Number 4 is quality time. Now, that's spending quality time with people. And it could be that you want to spend more time with them and you want to do nice things with them. But it isn't just about that, okay? It's about being fully present with them. So when you're in their company, putting your phone away, not looking at your phone. If you're watching a film together, just watching the film together and not being on your phone or being distracted. It's about really listening to someone and paying attention to them when they're talking to you and being fully present and having eye contact. It's about all those things, okay? So yeah, quality time's number 4. Number 5 is acts of service. Now, acts of service could be practical things. Could be like cooking, cleaning, washing someone's car, going to the shop for them, running a bath for them, doing the gardening, like things like that. Okay. So you will know, and I did read this actually the other day, like I was gonna say, you will know what your partner likes, you like or likes to do, or hang on a second. You will know what your partner would like you to do for them, and also you would know what they don't like doing, so you can maybe do those things. Or they don't like putting the bins out, okay, I'll put the bins out for them, and that will show that I love them and I care about them. And so they are the 5 love languages. So I thought I'd start with them. The second thing I wanted to talk about is how people tend to instantly, including myself, and I have done this many times, tend to give their own love language to somebody else because they think that's how they're going to receive love. That's what is important to you, so you think that's how you need to show love to this other person. So for many years, I used to give gifts because gifts was quite important to me for a while. I used to give gifts to people, and then they just were not grateful, or they just were like, oh yeah, thanks, or they didn't say thank you, or they didn't really care that much. And I was like, huh? Like I don't get it. Their love language was actually acts of service, right? Or quality time. So if I wasn't spending a lot of time with them, but I was just giving them gifts, well, it's not gonna connect with them. It's not gonna show them how much I love them or care about them. So you could be someone who really loves words of affirmation, and you're always giving compliments to someone, but they're not receiving them. They're going, oh no, like shut up, or they're just not really appreciating them. And it's because it's not their love language. Okay. So their love language, you need to find out what someone's love language is. Now you could ask them, you could have a conversation about it. You could get to know them and just ask them all different questions to try and work it out together if they don't know. Or you could take the love language quiz. And it's really important to know somebody else's love language in your life. As I say, it doesn't have to be a partner. It can be your friends, your best friend, or your parents. And if you have been struggling to connect with a certain person, find out what their love language is. And it can sometimes be quite uncomfortable or quite uneasy to start with, to try to give a love language that isn't one of yours. If you don't like giving acts of service, and it's easier for you to give gifts or words of affirmation, you're going to feel like you're out of your comfort zone. But that person is going to appreciate it so much more because you've gone to that much effort, and they probably know that that's not your comfort zone, if that makes sense. Okay, so really like quality time is one of them, right? If quality time isn't one of your love languages, and you struggle to be really present with someone, and you struggle to give eye contact, you struggle to listen, you struggle to put your phone away when you're with people, How important is that going to be to someone whose love language is quality time? That is going to be amazing to them. They're going to feel really loved and supported and cared about. Okay. So yeah, be aware that your love language is not always going to be what the other person's love language is. And then the last thing I want to talk about is that appreciation and gratitude piece. So, like I said earlier, there have been times in the past where I have given my love language to somebody else and it's not been their love language, and then they've not appreciated it, been grateful for it, because it's not their love language. Think about how I felt when that wasn't received well, and I felt like there was a disconnect there. Yes, partly my fault, because obviously I didn't give the right love language, but I didn't know. Okay, that's the key. I'm sharing this now so you know. But there are many people out there who don't know this, who don't understand love languages, and they will automatically, because we all do, give what they think is love and care in their way, in their love language, to you without knowing. Okay, and then if you don't receive what they're giving you with gratitude and, you know, appreciation, they're going to feel unloved. They're going to feel a disconnect from you. So please be mindful of that side of things as well. Okay, so if someone's trying to show their love by like cleaning your car rather than giving you kind words or empathy, just be really grateful and thankful, because they are trying to connect with you. They're trying to show love, and you know, that's their way of communicating love to you. If they are really affectionate and touchy-feely and you aren't, and you know, yours is words of affirmation or yours is acts of service, just be grateful that they're trying to connect with you on that level. But also, I do want to say it's really, really important in all relationships that you communicate that. Okay, so if you feel uncomfortable, for instance, that's a really good one to use, actually, the touch one. Because if you feel really uncomfortable with touch and affection, you need to express that. You need to communicate that. But the key to all of this is to communicate your love language. Right, so it's good to get to know your love language, but yeah, they do change sometimes as well, because if you are doing your own work and, you know, inner work, I mean, if you are working on yourself, if you're healing, if you're building your confidence, you're going to shift out of these. When you evolve, they evolve. But yeah, if you know your love language, I would really recommend communicating that and speaking about it and saying, look, I really appreciate quality time. I really appreciate you helping me out with the kids, or, you know, taking over the cooking sometimes, or I really appreciate you being more affectionate with me. And that is my love language. That is the way that I know that you care about me. And I would really appreciate it if you spent more time with me and, you know, were more present with me. And yeah, instead of, and this is another thing, instead of saying you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and blaming them and shaming them, instead of saying it negatively, say it in a way that shows them that you love it when they do certain things. Because when you express your gratitude and your appreciation for something that they do, they're going to do more of it. And this isn't manipulation. You know, this isn't a game. It's just coming from a more loving place. And you know what, you know that when someone puts you down for something, or when they say you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right, you're always doing this, you're instantly going to be on the defensive. But when someone says, I love it when you do that, doesn't it make you feel so much better? Can you feel the difference in that energy? Okay, so that is my little love language video. I really hope it helped you and supported you in some way. So thanks for listening and watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.